Shri Sai Ram, offering our collective salutations to the Almighty, revered elders, esteemed guests, devotees from across the globe, staff and students. Good morning and welcome to day 68 of the One World, One Family World Cultural Festival. Today, we celebrate the vibrant and rich cultures of Bolivia and Peru, lands of sweeping landscapes, sacred lakes, and ancient cities like Machu Picchu and Potosi. From the rhythmic beats of traditional music and dance to the proud legacy of indigenous communities like the Quechua and Aymara, these nations shine as a living example of unity in diversity. Bolivia and Peru embody the spirit of collective resilience and shared identity. Their festivals, rituals, and daily life remind us that the bonds of family, community, and mutual respect are stronger than any challenge. Embodying the ideal of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, one world, one family, Bolivia and Peru show us that true strength lies in togetherness, in uplifting one another, honoring shared heritage, and moving forward as one global family. As part of Universal Wisdom for a United World lecture series, today we have two speakers addressing all of us this morning. First, we have Mr. Roberto Sahonero from Bolivia. Mr. Roberto Sahonero was born in Oruro, Bolivia, and showed a deep love for culture and the arts from a very young age. His early talent earned him a scholarship to the Anglo-American School, followed by studies at McPherson College in Kansas, USA, which broadened his intercultural perspective. Back in Bolivia, he continued his education at the University of San Francisco Xavier in Sucre, where he joined a student music group that evolved into Los Masis. Under his leadership, the group became a national and international symbol of Bolivian cultural pride. Mr. Roberto also pioneered the first bilingual school in the Yampara region in the 1980s, integrating Quechua and ancestral knowledge into education. He founded the Diablada Masis and helped institutionalize the folkloric parade honoring the Virgin of Guadalupe, one of Bolivia's most important cultural celebrations. His lifelong dedication has earned him many honors, including the Gunnar Mendoza National Cultural Management Award, the title of Master of Arts in Music, and international recognition as a World Master in Traditional Singing and Instruments from South Korea. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Roberto Sahonero.
My dear friends, very happy to be with you and take part of this big join, not only from people, but overall from spirits. I'm very happy to bring you the greeting of our country, Bolivia, and overall to be in touch with you during the festival and bringing up our culture, our music. Tonight we will play for you. Now is the theory of why we are doing music, why we travel around the world making what it says the festival, making only one world, and like today, making only a family. My friends are there, and they are with you, and we are making all a family. What I want to develop in this opportunity is the cultural development. Cultural development in the last 30 years has been very important in order to have a cultural identity positively in each part of the ethnic groups, of the republics, of the countries. And for us, this identity has been more because, like people that we work with music, with dances, with all of we have around the culture. See, Bolivia is one of the 5 countries that make the Andean region. It means with Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador, Peru. We have had a big ancient culture, the Quechua culture. And part of this way of being, we have a language like the Quechua, and almost all of our behavior, it's very similar. We have cultural values like community, like being together. For me, I'm very happy when I see you gather in a big group. But the difference is that we do it in a circle. The circle is one of the best symbols that we have. The circle means that each one of us, we are the point in the circle, and we are the same in the circle. We have the same rights. We have the same duties. And we don't realize much when we talk about being young, children, or being old. All of us, we are that point that makes the circle in the community. That's why, for us, circle is very important. In our language, it's called muyu. What is it called? Are you still sleeping? Muyu, very clear, muyu. Thank you. So, muyu is very important, not only to gather, to play music. Also, we play when we make community music, we play in a circle. But yet we have other forms of social organization. For example, if somebody in the community needs our work, we gather the whole community in this work and we work together. And that is Minka. The meaning of Minka is working together. And still we have, when we bother some type of favor, or when we ask for something that we need, we are doing the aini. It's very seldom that we use the aini for all the works. When we build a house, for example, we ask the other community to help us, and that's aini. So these values are very important for us in the daily living because it makes life a little bit bit better, a little bit easy. So, with these values, we have developed very well our Quechua culture. And with these values also, we have developed the other parts of the culture. But we, and my friends, we are musicians, so we have developed all these social values to make music and to bring up the music from the ancient days to these present years. The music for us has been always very important in our lives. There is music, for example, when you have your birthday, there is music. When you have a new birth in your house, there is music. And when we die, it's also the same. And music is probably the most important matter in the whole process of living. We have this group, Los Masis, it's the name. What's its name? Los Masis. Repeat it, please. Yeah. Tonight we will play Los Masis. And we have made Los Masis 56 years ago. We were students in the university and we have started to sing and to play like a hobby. Later on, we have made music seriously because we saw how important it was to practice music with one objective, with one purpose. Like in the ancient days, each activity in your social life has music for us. Then, once that we have made Los Masis, we had to research the ancient music of our forefathers. You see, probably you have also very nice old music here also, right? It's not only the new compositions, the new songs. And that was for us a duty. It was to bring up again the old music to nowadays for the youngsters. So with that purpose, we started Los Masis. But we saw that it wasn't only very important to keep the music. It was very important to educate our children in music, to teach them the old fashion of playing, the old way of saying, the culture of our forefathers, right? So, after 7 years, we started to teach children, to teach the ancient instruments like the pan flutes, like the flutes, like the chord instruments too. So, when we started to teach them, we saw that children could learn it easily. So we had 3 big groups of children, the Huchimasis, the Carapanzas, and the Masikuna, another group that made not only performances in Sucre, our hometown. We start to travel Bolivia, and with these groups also we went even to Europe to play. This is very important because we made a cultural center at this point of the history. And with this cultural center, we not only search the music, but we have made it, the promotion of it, in all over the world. Los Masis, the group that we are going to perform for you, we have worked already 56 years. And we have visited and played our music in 25 countries all over the world. One of our, thanks. One of our biggest wish was to visit India. And now we are here with you, and we are very happy because when your dreams become true, that's a gift of life. So we are very lucky that we have achieved another dream in our lives. And it's like to be at home when we talk with you. And I imagine next time we are going to have better language, not only with the English, but with your own language too. So, in this place, at this time, we started to have a cultural center. This cultural center was done in workshops that weren't so complicated. We didn't teach at the beginning to read music, read musical notes. We did with numbers, with the holes of the flutes, a very practical system. And children learned very easily that way. No? And after 4 years or more, then we started to teach them with the universal notes. This make that they could love music. Sometimes when you start directly with the notes, get complicated. The easiest way of teaching is by ear. Because children, they have good ear and they easily learn what we teach them. So with our cultural center, we started to have big workshops. Folk music workshop was the biggest one, with almost more than 100 students. Then we needed, in order to put up to the day our music, we needed to research the old music. So we have an investigation workshop. And all of this we have gathered also with some part of folk arts in order to construct our instruments. the pamphlets, the flutes, and some other of them that were very important to learn how to do it. So we started to have a big, wide knowledge with old people. We look for old people, old musicians, in order to teach us the best way of doing our own instruments. And with the time, we had the possibility of working way down in the fields, down in the mountains. We come from people that speak Quechua, so it was easy for us to go and look for the music and play with them, with the old musicians, this music, and try to put the music of the fields to the CDs. It is very important to do policies that can go against the cultural uniformization. The cultural uniformization comes from the music industry. The music industry that sometimes starts in Miami, starts in New York, starts sometimes in the big cities in Europe. We need not a cultural uniformization. We need that each of us has its own way of being, its own culture, like you do, like we do. We are with our culture, with our cultural values. So we started to do researching in the old places of Bolivia. Actually, tonight you will see the music of different parts of Bolivia. The music of the mountains, the music of the valleys, the music of the eastern part of Bolivia. The eastern part of Bolivia is lowlands, like here. Some of the vegetations that you have are almost the same from us. So it is very important to make the concerts with each part of the culture of Bolivia. We have a saying, we do the unity from the diversity. Do you understand? The unity of all these parts from Bolivia, we play in a concert. And tonight we'll be very pleased to play for you. Almost to finish up for you, we would like to congratulate you the way that you are taking your development and the way that you are gathering the religions. When we play in Europe, for example, we have our own religion. Our religion has to do with Mother Earth, Pachamama. Has to do with our Father Sun and our Mother Moon. We respect very much the cosmos, the stars, nature. And that for us is also very important, like religion. And yet we have survived when came from Spain, the Catholic Church. And then we mixed both of them, and we have made our own Bolivian religion. And we have met some other religious lines too, and we start believing in only one church all over the world, with only one belief, with only one God. And this, I think, will give unity. I remember we were in Munich, in Germany, and we made a big mass with the Catholic Church, the Lutheran Church, the Evangelistics, and we made in a big cathedral, only one mass, all together. It was happiness all over the church. We all were happy, and we hope, like we say, one world, one family. Hope with the time will be that. We need unity, love all over the world. And we are doing that with our music, with our way of treating people like you. We thank you very much to all of you for this invitation, for this way of being part of the world in one family. We thank you very much. And maybe sometime you'll visit us too. That could be really nice, huh? Thanks a lot. Hope you have understood this. Yes. Thank you. That's it? Yes.
We extend our heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Sahonero for sharing his wisdom with all of us this morning. Now, may we invite Professor Sri Kantamurthy, Vice Chancellor, Sri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence, to extend our token of gratitude and appreciation to Mr. Roberto Sahonero. Next, we have Professor Juan Fonseca, a distinguished scholar, historian, and thought leader whose work bridges faith, culture, and society. Professor Juan Fonseca is a renowned Peruvian historian and university professor specializing in the history of religions, education, and the political, cultural, and social landscape of contemporary Peru. He serves as an advisor to the Interreligious Council of Peru, Religions for Peace, and is widely recognized as one of the country's leading authorities on religious diversity and interfaith dialogue. Professor Fonseca has authored numerous books, research papers, and articles, and has also contributed as a columnist to national media, sharing insightful reflections on religion, culture, and social issues. His lifelong dedication to promoting understanding, cooperation, and harmony among diverse communities makes him uniquely suited to share his perspectives on universal wisdom. Professor Juan Fonseca, please.
Faces are very similar. Our skins, our eyes, and our food which I am enjoying immensely these days. Our countries share a taste for gastronomy, and above all, a taste for sharing our affection and love with food. As a historian and a university professor, I am profoundly honored to stand in a country so deeply rooted in history and so passionately committed to shaping a great future. I'm deeply grateful for the opportunity to enjoy this experience. Yesterday, I felt something very special when I entered this wonderful place. You were singing with emotion and devotion. I must confess that I did not understand nothing about the words, but I connected with the spirit they conveyed. There was a spirit of connection with the divine that captivated me, a Peruvian Christian, but with a heart open to the diverse and unique languages of religious diversity. It is said that music is a universal language, so universal that even God understands it. I particularly liked one whose last phrase referred to Krishna, Hare Krishna, perhaps. I hope to learn it before I leave. That way I will take some of your spirit with me in my heart. Meetings like this remind me that in all religions and cultures, the voice of the divine has been heard in many ways. In the Bible, it is said that the Spirit blows where it wills. The Quranic tradition affirms that God has sent messengers to all peoples so that no one is left without guidance. The Vedas recognize that truth is one, though the wise call it by different names. At the heart of our religious traditions lies the spiritual core of humanity, which basically responds to every human being's desire to find a way to rise to their best selves, and in that search, to encounter God. But then, why are we so divided or even at odds with one another? Meetings like this lead me to review my own journey, and I invite you to review yours well. I was born and raised in a country with a Christian tradition. My family is Protestant. My father, in fact, is a Protestant minister, as are all my brothers and sisters. We grew up believing that the only truth was in my religion, in our religion, and that outside of our religion, all other paths of the divine were wrong. That is what I believed in my childhood and youth. But since I entered university, my perspective began to expand and broaden in relation to religion. Through my intellectual curiosity, reading authors outside my religious tradition, and above all, meetings with people of other faiths, I came to understand that it was very difficult for a concept as lofty as God to fit entirely within the narrow framework of a particular church or religious tradition. Willis Jagger, a Catholic monk and Zen master, summarized this insight as follows. Religions are like the beautiful stained glass windows of a church. They give a certain structure to the light behind them, which shines through them. If there is no light, they are insignificant and colorless. Therefore, light is what is really decisive, but we cannot see it with our eyes. Light makes things visible, but it is itself invisible. It only becomes visible when it breaks down into colors and takes on a structure. The same is true of religions with regard to the divine. They give the incomprehensible a comprehensible structure. The price of religions have to pay for this is the reduction of the divine to one sector of the spectrum, and it would be foolish to take that sector for the whole. Indeed, God is above religions, but at the same time, we need them to find the paths that our ancestors had followed since ancient times to know the divine. So it is not a question of renouncing our religious traditions, but of broadening and enriching them. Dialogue between religions does not lead us to lose our identity, but to discover in it the potential for fraternal encounter with human diversity. I have not devoted my life to rejecting what I learned from my parents, but rather to discovering new paths and crossing unexpected boundaries through it. Boundaries that have allowed me to be here, far from my faith, my people, and my culture, yet discovering in all of you that my faith and my culture share much in common with our universal human heritage. But believing in unity and encounter is not based on naivety. In addition to being a believer, as a historian of religions, I am well aware of the complicated side of religion. For centuries, humanity has fought one another for religious reasons. The religious wars of the past may be behind us, but mistrust, prejudice, and even certain forms of concrete violence persist. Violence born of ignorance, from which distrust arises and from which fear is bred. Fear of the other, of those who believe, feel, or think differently. Religions should not produce fear or violence, but rather give birth to life and generate light within the human experience. As a historian, I have always been drawn to cemeteries. Within Christian cultural sphere, cemeteries play an important role as spaces of memory for the deceased. In El Callao is the port of Lima, there is a British cemetery. It was founded in the 19th century by a group of European immigrants, mainly English and German Protestants. At that time, and well into the 20th century, people of religions other than Catholicism were buried outside the cemeteries, since those only accepted people who professed Catholicism, the official religion of the state. The situation led to the burial there not only for European Protestants, but also of Jews and even Chinese immigrants who practice their traditional religions. When one walks to the cemetery, one finds graves bearing different religions and national symbols. They are there because the official religion discriminated against religious minorities. Religion separated Peruvians in life, but also in death. And even those who had to be buried in that cemetery because of it had regarded each other with suspicion during their lifetimes due to their religious backgrounds. Yet discrimination forced them to coexist after death. Opposed in life, brought together in death. Why did they not dare to live together while alive? Life is one of the great values underlying the major religious traditions. In the sacred books, there is a common point of origin, the explanation of the beginning of life and the care that God takes over life in its fullness. Although the culture of respect for life has grown and unites many believers and non-believers alike, it is also true that a culture of death expressed to war, hatred, indifference, and exploitation still persists and in some regions seriously threatens us. Conflicts arise in the name of defending misunderstood religious truth or ideologies that glorify violence. This is the moment when, from within our different traditions, we are called to stand on the side of life. To defend life is not merely to protect the biological. It is to affirm the dignity of every being, to care for the nature that sustains us, and to fight against every system that degrades the human person by turning them into an instrument. If religions forget the sacredness of life, they lose their original connection with the divine. When in the name of God, people kill or exclude, it means that God has withdrawn from those who proclaim his name. The fanatic is a false believer who thinks he is defending God, but when in reality, he is trying to replace him. The true believer, on the other hand, defends life because in it he sees the face of God. For the Creator does not dwell in hatred but in mercy. He does not side with oppression or injustice, but with the smallest and weakest whom he loves. This brings us to love, another of the core values that dwell in the very heart of religions. All the great religions not only teach us the path to our God, but also the one that leads to our neighbor. When the Buddha attained perfect enlightenment, he resisted the temptation of silence and began to preach the message of salvation. Jesus says, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and your neighbor as yourself." Or as in that wonderful analogy from the Mahabharata, proper hospitality should be offered even to an enemy when he enters the house. A tree does not withdraw its shade even when it is about to be cut down. In one of his hadiths, the Prophet Muhammad says, "The most beloved of people to God is the one who brings the greatest benefits to others." The French philosopher Simone Weil has often inspired me with this phrase: "Faith is the experience that intelligence is enlightened by love." Indeed, to know much but not to know how to love can be a potential threat to humanity. Love beautifies and humanizes knowledge and transforms understanding into wisdom. But love must not remain merely lyrical. It must transform ethics to generate solidarity and service. In the Bible, the Apostle James reminds us that faith without works is dead. Indeed, from a spirituality committed to life, love reaches its fullness when it gives birth to solidarity. Moreover, love is the highest expression of universal spirituality because it humanizes us through our commitment to the good of others and of the community. Both the Quran and the Talmud remind us of a powerful maxim: whoever saves one life, it is as if they had saved all of humanity. The best form of worship to God is service. On the plaque of the Methodist Church closest to my home, it reads, "This temple was built for the glory of God and the service of humanity." At one point, I thought that this integral sense of love was an exclusive attribute of Christians. Yesterday, in my room, I read this phrase by Sri Sathya Sai Baba: "Love and service are two sides of the same coin. Those who love cannot but serve, and those who serve must do so with love." Throughout my life, I have been converted several times, not in the sense of changing religion, but of expanding my own spiritual horizon. At first, I was an exclusivist evangelical. Later, I became an inclusive Christian. Then I discovered ecumenism as a proposal for unity, though one centered solely on the Christian tradition. But in recent years, my journey has ascended toward interreligious dialogue. It was through this path that I encountered the Interreligious Council of Peru, Religions for Peace, and organizations that brings together the majority of organized religions in Peru. Within the council are Peruvian cardinals from the Catholic Church, as well as rabbis, sheikhs, and representatives of Buddhism and the Baha'i faith, for example. I am pleased to have advised the council on several occasions, both in the organizations or representative state-level events and in research and service projects. I would like to conclude by thanking the Lord for allowing me to share with you the beautiful experience of Diwali yesterday. For some reason, we arrived just in time for these days, a very joyful and radiant celebrations. yet one that begins in a setting that at first seems dark, the stadium. Suddenly, everything starts to light up with sparkling and splendid fireworks. That is how we should think about our lives, as torches in the midst of darkness, as bonfires in the midst of the cold. The darker the surroundings, the brighter the light shines, no matter how small it may be. One of the great Latin American thinkers, Eduardo Galeano, offers this metaphor about fire and life. The world is a sea of little fires. Each person shines with their own light among all the others. No two fires are the same. There are big fires and small fires, and fires of every color. There are people with campfires who hardly feel the wind, and people with crazy fires who fill the air with sparks. Some fires, foolish fires, neither give light nor burn, but others burn life with such passion that you cannot look at them without blinking, and whoever draws near catches fire. Brothers and sisters, let us transform our lives into those little fires and persist in life and ignite others. Let us aspire to transcendence, to propel our lives toward what ennobles humanity. I like the chacana. Well, in fact, this is a chacana, yeah. The Andean cross, you see? A sacred symbol with multiple meanings in Andean cosmology. It represents the connection between the three worlds, the upper world of the gods, the middle world of humans, and the lower world of our ancestors. Also, it means stairway to the highest in Quechua. It reminds me that even though, well, in fact, I'm not as young as the most of you, I still have a lot of growing to do. No matter how old we are, we have opportunities to keep growing. May our lives not be merely a long sequence of insubstantial events, but rather through them may we fulfill a purpose, a mission. That's where true happiness lies. A life dedicated to life, to love, to service, to joy. As my professor, Gonzalo Portocarrero, once wrote, and what is love, if not the feeling that accompanies the awakening of joy? I hope our joy in these days will awake. Thank you.
We would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to Professor Juan Fonseca for sharing his wisdom with all of us this morning. Now, may we invite Professor Sri Kantamurthy, Vice Chancellor, Sri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence, to extend our token of gratitude and appreciation to Professor Juan Fonseca. We shall now have a short break and reconvene for Rasa Prashna. Thank you.
अम्बिकतनया गजानना
अम्बिकतनया गजानना
अम्बिकतनया गजानना गजवदना गणनाथ गजानना गजवदना गणनाथ पाहि गणेशा विनायका पाहि गणेशा विनायका त्रिभुवन पालक मंगलदायक त्रिभुवन पालक मंगलदायक विद्या बुद्धि सिद्धि प्रदायक विद्या बुद्धि सिद्धि प्रदायक पाहि गणेशा विनायका पाहि गणेशा विनायका पाहि गणेशा विनायका पाहि गणेशा विनायका अम्बिकतनया गजानना गजवदना गणनाथ गजानना पाहि गणेशा विनायका त्रिभुवन पालक मंगलदायक विद्या बुद्धि सिद्धि प्रदायक पाहि गणेशा विनायका पाहि गणेशा विनायका पाहि गणेशा विनायका अम्बिकतनया गजानना
ओ बाबा साई बाबा
साई
दुख हरते बाबा दीनों के दुख हरते बाबा
दीनों के दुख हरते
ओ बाबा साई बाबा राम ही बाबा कृष्ण ही बाबा
राम ही बाबा कृष्ण ही बाबा
राम ही बाबा कृष्ण ही बाबा
राम ही बाबा कृष्ण ही बाबा
नर देहि नारायण बाबा
नारायण बाबा
नर देहि नारायण बाबा
नारायण बाबा
नर देहि नारायण बाबा नर देहि नारायण बाबा ओ बाबा साई बाबा दीनों के दुख हरते बाबा ओ बाबा साई बाबा राम ही बाबा कृष्ण ही बाबा
कृष्ण ही बाबा
नर देहि नारायण बाबा
नारायण बाबा
नर देहि नारायण बाबा नर देहि नारायण बाबा ओ बाबा साई बाबा
कल्याण कृष्णा कमनीय कृष्णा कल्याण कृष्णा कमनीय कृष्णा कल्याण कृष्णा कमनीय कृष्णा कल्याण कृष्णा कमनीय कृष्णा काली अमर्दन
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नमो भगवते रामरूपाय
शिव शम्भो नारायणा शिव शम्भो नारायणा शिव शम्भो नारायणा शिव शम्भो नारायणा कपिवासा जगदीश्वरा कपिवासा जगदीश्वरा कपिवासा जगदीश्वरा कपिवासा जगदीश्वरा शिव शम्भो नारायणा शिव शम्भो नारायणा शिर्डीवासा जगदीश्वरा शिर्डीवासा जगदीश्वरा शिर्डीवासा जगदीश्वरा शिर्डीवासा जगदीश्वरा सत्य साई शिव शंकरा सत्य साई शिव शंकरा सत्य साई शिव शंकरा सत्य साई शिव शंकरा शिव शंभो नारायणा शिव शंभो नारायणा कपिवासा जगदीश्वरा कपिवासा जगदीश्वरा शिव शंभो नारायणा शिव शंभो नारायणा शिर्डीवासा जगदीश्वरा शिर्डीवासा जगदीश्वरा सत्य साई शिव शंकरा सत्य साई शिव शंकरा सत्य साई शिव शंकरा सत्य साई शिव शंकरा शिव शंभो नारायणा
देवसेनापते स्कन्दा सुब्रह्मण्या पाहि
देवसेनापते स्कन्दा सुब्रह्मण्या पाहि माम्।
देवसेनापते स्कन्दा सुब्रह्मण्या पाहि
देवसेनापते स्कन्दा सुब्रह्मण्या
Shri Sai Ram, offering our humble salutations at the lotus feet of our beloved Sadguru. Respected elders, teachers, and all my dear brothers and sisters, a very loving Sai Ram, and welcome to yet another episode of the Rasa Prashna. In every educational tradition, whether ancient or modern, the process of learning is most effective when the students possess a deep yearning for knowledge, they're in the company of equally passionate learners, and are under the guidance of a mentor. This was achieved in the Gurukulas of ancient Bharat, where a student's life was a transformative journey of Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam, surrounded by fellow seekers in the presence of a Guru. Today, the same environment is being recreated by Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, where he is nurturing the desire for knowledge in our hearts, creating an environment where we can all study and practice together, and personally guiding us to progress on this path. This quiz, lovingly organized by him, is yet another opportunity for us to progress on our spiritual journey.
In continuation of our endeavor to listen, learn, and assimilate the essence of all that we are being taught, we are once again gathered here for episode 5 of the Rasa Prashna to test and gauge our understanding. And today we have a total of 6 teams. Gargi, comprising girl students. Team Maitri with lady staff. Team Lopamudra with ladies devotees. On the gents side, Team Vashishta comprising gents devotees. Team Vamadeva of gents staff. And Team Angirasa with boy students.
Today's quiz will have 4 segments comprising questions on world culture, Sathya Sai Divyakatha episodes, Satya Darpan, and Adhyatmik Sangeet. Let us begin the first segment, which has 4 rounds based on world culture.
Without further ado, we wish all the participants the best of luck and begin the first round of multiple choice questions. We will start the first round with Team Angirasa. Which is the meditative martial art form of China? Your options: A. Tai Chi, B. Wushu, C. Kung Fu, and D. Taekwondo.
A. Tai Chi.
Yes, that is the right answer, Tai Chi. The second question to Team Vamadeva. In which continent is the country Chile located? Your options: A. Africa, B. Europe, C. South America, and D. Asia.
C. South America.
Yes, that is the right answer.
Team Vasishta, your question is, who introduced Buddhism and Kung Fu to China? The options are A. Ashoka, B. Satyakama, C. Siddhartha, and D. Bodhidharma.
Bodhidharma.
Bodhidharma is the right answer. The next question to Team Lopamudra. Which country is named after a mountain? Option A, Kenya. Option B, Zambia. Option C, Uganda. And option D, Tanzania.
Kenya.
Kenya. Option A, Kenya is the correct answer.
Team Maitrey, your question on the screen. Salzburg is the birthplace of which famous personality? Ludwig van Beethoven, John Strauss, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, and Franz Schubert. You're running out of time, Team Maitri. We'll pass it to Team Gargi.
Option C. Option C.
Option C is the right answer. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart was born in Salzburg. The last question in round 1 to Team Gargi. Which is the birthplace of the apple fruit? Your options: Sweden, Kazakhstan, Ireland, and D. Switzerland.
Option B, Kazakhstan.
Yes, Kazakhstan is the correct option.
Moving on to the second round, which is the short answer round. A quick glance at the instructions. The first question of this round is for Team Vamadeva. Your question is, name the big five found in Africa.
Lion, elephant, tiger, rhinoceros, and buffalo.
That is incorrect. The question is passed to Team Vasishta.
The lion, the leopard, the buffalo, the elephant, and the rhino.
Again, that is the incorrect answer. Can you repeat your answer once?
Yeah, the wild buffalo, elephant, lion, leopard, and the rhino.
That is the correct answer. The big five in Africa refers to the five most iconic and powerful wild animals. They are the lion, the leopard, the elephant, the rhinoceros, and the buffalo. The next question is for Team Vasishta. What is the name of the popular church in Paris, which also bears the name of a novel?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame is the correct answer. It is a medieval Catholic cathedral famous for its French Gothic architecture and was the primary setting for Victor Hugo's 1831 novel, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. The third question is for Team Lopamudra. Which is the world's highest waterfall and where is it located?
Angel Falls.
Where is it located?
It is located in Venezuela.
That is correct. Angel Falls in Venezuela is the world's highest uninterrupted fall, located in the Canema National Park, Venezuela, with a total height of 979 meters.
The next question to Team Maitreyi. In which country are chocolate hills found?
Philippines.
Yes, the answer is Philippines. The chocolate hills are a geological formation of over 1,000 conical hills found primarily on the Bohol Island in the Philippines. Next question to Team Gargi. Who is the famed Chinese scholar who was patronized in the court of King Harshavardhana?
Yuan Sang.
Yes, that is the right answer. Hein Sang was a Chinese Buddhist monk and scholar who traveled to India in the 7th century in search of sacred scriptures. The last question is to Team Angirasa. What is the motto that originated during the French Revolution?
Equality, fraternity, liberty.
Yes, that is the right answer. Liberty, equality, and fraternity. This is the famous tripartite motto, Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité, that originated and was widely used during the French Revolution.
Let us now proceed to the third round of the World Culture segment. In this round, each team will be shown a flag. The team must identify the country, its capital, and official language. The first flag of the round is for Team Vasishta.
Is it Kazakhstan?
Yes. The capital and language spoken.
Astana. Almaty.
Astana is the capital and the language?
Language is Kazakh.
Kazakh is the correct answer. The flag displayed is Kazakhstan. Astana is the capital city of Kazakhstan and the language spoken here is Kazakh.
The next question is to Team Lopamudra.
The country is Norway. Capital is Oslo. Official language
That
is
is
Norwegian.
incorrect.
It's the flag of Austria.
That is also incorrect. We will pass it to team Maitreyi.
It's
Country is
Latvia.
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 We've already passed it to team Maitreyi.
Country, the flag is of Latvia
Can
country.
you repeat the country?
Latvia.
Yes, that is the right answer. The capital? We'll pass it to team Gargi.
Country is Latvia, capital is Riga, and language is Latvian.
Yes, that is absolutely right. The flag is of Latvia, its capital Riga, and the language spoken is Latvian. The next flag is for team Maitreyi.
Venezuela.
Yes, Venezuela is the right answer.
Spanish is the language.
Right. What is the capital? We'll pass it to team Gargi.
It is Venezuela, capital is Caracas.
That's correct.
And language is Spanish.
Yes, that is absolutely right. The flag is of Venezuela, its capital Caracas, and the language spoken is Spanish. Team Gargi, your flag is on the screen.
The flag is Norway.
That's right.
And the capital of Norway is Oslo.
Correct.
And the language Norwegian.
Can you repeat the language?
Norwegian. Norwegian.
Yes, Norwegian is the language spoken. A big round of applause for Team Gargi. The capital is Oslo and the flag is of Norway.
The next question is for Team Angirasa. Your flag is on the screen.
The country is Austria.
That's correct.
And the capital is Vienna. And the language is German.
That is correct. The flag displayed is Austria. Vienna is the capital of Austria and the language spoken there is German. Now the final flag for Team Vamadeva.
The country is Chile.
Yes.
Capital is Santiago. And language is Spanish.
That is correct. Santiago is the capital city of Chile and the language spoken in this country is Spanish.
We now proceed to round 4. In this round, a blurred image of a famous personality will be displayed and each team must guess the person and also state their nationality. The image for team Lopamudra will begin with this team. On the screen, please.
Jackie Chan, Hong Kong actor.
Yes, that is the right answer. Jackie Chan is a legendary actor, filmmaker, martial artist and stuntman from Hong Kong and he's celebrated for his unique acrobatic fighting style. Can we have the image for team Maitreyi, please?
Nelson Mandela from South.
That is incorrect. We'll have to pass it to team Gargi.
Is Dr. Kenneth Daniel Kaunda and he is from Kenya. Zambia.
Kenya David Kaunda is from Zambia.
Can we give them the answer? Yes, that is the right answer. This Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, a Zambian politician and anti-colonial revolutionary who became the first president of independent Zambia. Inspired by Gandhi, he became a voice for the African independence movement.
The next image is for Team Gargi.
She's Marie Curie from France.
That is correct. Marie Curie was a French physicist and chemist renowned for her groundbreaking research on radioactivity. She was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize, the first person and only woman to win it twice, and the only person to win the Nobel Prize in 2 different scientific fields. Next, can we have the image for Team Angirasa?
She is Jayanti Kumresh, Veena player.
Yes, Jayanti Kumresh is a world-renowned Saraswati Veena virtuoso, a composer and educator from India.
The image for Team Vamadeva on the screen, please.
He's a chess player from Norway, and Magnus Carlsen is name.
Yes, Magnus Carlsen is the right answer. He is considered one of the greatest chess players of all time with #1 position in the FIDE world rankings, and he is from Norway. To Team Vasishta, your image is on the screen, please.
Roger Federer, Swedish tennis player.
That is the right answer. Roger Federer is a former Swiss tennis player. He was ranked as the world #1 in men's singles and won 20 Grand Slams in world tennis tournaments. With this, we come to the end of the first segment based on world culture, and all teams have answered to the best of their abilities. A big round of applause. Can we have the scores, please? Gargi, 60 points. Maitreyi, 20 points. Lopamudra, 30 points. Vasishta, 50 points. Vamadeva, 35 points. And Angirasa at 45 points.
We now move to the second segment, which is based on Sathya Sai Divyakatha and scriptural learnings. In round 5, questions will be based on the Sri Sathya Sai Divyakatha episodes, and teams are expected to give a short answer. The first question is to Team Maitreyi. Who was the Vedic scholar who composed the Sai Gayatri?
Gandikota Subramanya Shastri.
That is correct. The Sai Gayatri was composed by Sri Gandikoti Subramanya Shastri on 24 December 1977 at Vrindavan, Whitefield. The next question is for Team Gargi. What was the reason for the relocation of the hostel building in Vrindavan?
Students are far from the Bhagwan.
That is correct. The reason was a heartfelt prayer from a student to keep all the students close to Bhagwan. This made him change the construction plans.
The next question is to Team Angirasa. What did Sathya Sai Baba say about Muddenahalli during his first ever visit here?
Baba told that this is a tapobhumi.
Yes, that is right. He said that this is a tapobhumi. It is a sacred land sanctified by the penance of many great beings. Team Vamadeva, your question is, according to Bhagwan, divine grace is compared to which part of a car?
Clutch.
Yes, that is the right answer. He explains, just as a clutch enables smooth shifting of gears, divine grace helps us to navigate smoothly between pain and pleasure in life.
The next question is for Team Vasishta. What advice did Baba give to a lady who offered stale rice grains as a part of Narayana Seva?
Baba told the lady that if you offer such stale grains, in the next birth you will have to eat the same type of grains.
That is a partial answer. Could you expand it a little?
Give the same grains which are giving to your family members.
That is correct. Baba taught her the lesson that all beings are manifestations of the divine, and it is very important to keep this in mind while doing seva, because service done to any being is verily service offered to the divine. The next question is for Team Lopamudra. When was the summer course held for the first time?
May 1972.
That is the correct answer. The first summer course was held on Indian culture and spirituality in May 1972. It was a month-long camp organized for over 300 college students from all over the country.
We will now proceed to round 6. In this round, participants are expected to give the explanation of simple Sanskrit words and phrases. The first question is for Team Gargi. What is the difference between Vairagya and Virakti?
Vairagya is dispassion, whereas Virakti is shock. Like when we lose somebody, the loved ones, it's like immediate dispassion we get when we lose the most beloved ones. That is Virakti. Virakti is not the one we supposed to have. Vairagya is the one, it's like matured dispassion is the thing we should have.
Yes, that is the right answer. Vairagya, as explained by Sadhguru, is the detachment born out of spiritual discrimination or viveka, realizing the impermanence of worldly things, while Virakti is the detachment arising from disgust or disappointment after experiencing worldly pleasures and pains. The next question is for Team Angirasa. What is the definition of swasthya?
Good well-being.
Can you expand and elaborate a little?
Swasthya. Swasthya means both, there is a shloka. Samadosha, Samagnischa, Samadhatu Malakriya, Prasannatmendriya Manaha, Swastha Ityabhidiyati.
That is absolutely the right answer. In the Sushruta Samhita, it is defined as that swasthya is not merely absence of disease but equilibrium of the 3 doshas, the digestive fire, the 7 body tissues or dhatus, healthy excretory functions, and a contented state of mind, senses, and the Atman.
The next question is for Team Vamadeva. What is the meaning of vasana?
Latent tendencies. Latent tendencies.
That is correct. Vasanas are the latent impressions or tendencies in the mind formed by past thoughts and actions which have accumulated over several lifetimes. They give rise to desires and influence our present behavior. Next, to Team Vasishta. What is the meaning of Jagat?
Jagat is impermanent, coming and going. Jagat.
That is correct. Jagat comprises of 2 words, ja and gat, which means to come and go. It is said, jayate gacchati iti jagat. Therefore, the word itself represents the impermanence of the world.
The next question to Team Lopamudra. What is the meaning of the phrase, Shanaihi Shanaihi Uparamet?
Shanai means slowly, slowly, gradually. What is the next part?
Uparamet.
No. Uparamet. Shanai moves slowly onwards on the path to liberation.
Yes, that is the right answer. In the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says that progress in our spiritual journey must be gradual but in a very steady manner. Team Maitri, your question. What is Asparsha Yoga?
Asparsha Yoga means yoga of unattachment. Untouched.
untouched yoga. It comes in Mandukya Karika.
Yes, that is the right answer. In the Mandukya Karika, Gaudapada describes Asparsha Yoga as the ability to remain untouched by all external circumstances while continuing to engage in action. It is a state of being untouched by either loss or gain, praise or blame.
With that, we move to the final round of the second segment, which is the Who Am I round. In this round, teams must guess the answer based on a set of 3 clues. The answer could be a personality from the past or present, or even monuments or buildings. If the answer is guessed with the first clue, the team will be awarded 20 points. Answering with the second clue will award the team 15 points, and answering immediately after the third clue will award the team 10 points.
The first question goes to team Angirasa, and your first clue is, I am the first Kannada writer to receive the Jnanpith Award.
Kuvempu.
That is a brilliant answer with the first clue itself. Rashtrakavi Kuvempu was born in the town of Kuppalni, and he is the first Kannada writer to receive the Jnanpith Award.
May we have the first clue to team Vamadeva. Even though I was born in West Bengal, I left my mortal coil in South India.
Aurobindo.
Maharishi Aurobindo is the correct answer. Maharishi Aurobindo was a freedom fighter who turned a philosopher and is known to have developed the philosophy of integral yoga.
Team Vashishta, your first clue is, I was born into a family of weavers.
Kabir Das.
Yes, that is the right answer. Looks like our teams don't need second and third clues. Kabir Das composed more than 5,000 dohas containing practical and spiritual wisdom.
Moving on to the ladies' teams. The clue for team Lopamudra, I manifested during the Samudra Manthana with the Amruta Kalasha in my hand.
Lakshmi.
That is incorrect. Let's see if you can guess it with the second clue. I will soon be installed atop a most unique and magnificent temple of healing.
Dhanvantri.
Dhanvantri is the correct answer. It is Lord Dhanvantri who is responsible for blessing us with good health and well-being.
Hope you're ready, team Maitri. And your first clue is, my wife cannot differentiate between ordinary stones and precious stones.
Purandaradasa.
Yes, that is the right answer. His original name was Srinivasa Nayak, and he is considered as the Pitamaha of Carnatic music.
The final question for team Gargi. Your first clue is, I am located on the fertile belt of river Kaveri, housing hundreds of students. Would you like the second clue? One of my buildings is in the shape of the Sarva Dharma symbol.
Mandya. Mandya.
Mandya campus is the correct answer. The Sri Sathya Sai Sharada Niketanam Mandya campus is located on the belt of Kaveri, and today hundreds of students study within its fold.
With that, we have finished the second segment, and let us have a look at the scores, please, before we proceed to segment 3. Segment 3, Gargi 95 points, Maitri 60 points, Lopamudra 65 points, Vashishta 90 points, Team Vamadeva 75 and Team Angirasa 85 points. We now proceed to segment 3, which will focus on Paravidya concepts and Sadhguru's discourses on the Ashtavakra. This round will have questions from Sadhguru's discourses, and the first question is to Team Vamadeva. In the analogy of the lamp, oil and water, what does water symbolize?
Worldliness.
That is the right answer. Yes, yesterday Sadhguru taught us that water symbolizes desires or worldliness which must be gotten rid of in order to light the lamp of wisdom. The next question is to team Vasishta. Expand the triple S of Sai Avatarhood as explained by Sadhguru.
Yeah, Shirdi Sai is the mother who... is that what you are looking at? No? Is that...
Shirdi Sai, Sathya Sai, and Sadhguru Sai.
Yes, that is the right answer. Shirdi Sai, the first S, Sathya Sai, the second S, and Sadhguru Sai, the third S.
The next question to team Lopamudra. What is the Duryodhana syndrome?
Duryodhana syndrome, even if I know that it is bad, I cannot stop myself from doing it. Even if I know that something is good, I cannot get myself to do it.
That is correct. In response to Lord Krishna's advice to make the right choice, Duryodhana argues, Janami dharmam nachame pravrittihi, janami adharmam nachame nivrittihi. I know what is correct, but I don't have the strength to do it. I know what is incorrect, but I don't have the willpower to resist. Therefore, Duryodhana syndrome is the tendency to do wrong despite knowing fully well that it is wrong as a result of inner weakness and attachment. The next question to team Maitreyi. What is the test for instrumentation according to Sadhguru?
Whether we are doing, if we are doing any work, so how we were in the beginning, so we should be like that while doing the work, and even during and even after finishing the work, we should be same.
Yes, that is the right answer.
Like we should remain in that steadiness now.
That is a partial answer. While doing the work, there should not, after doing the work, there should not be any memory of having done it. And while doing it, there shouldn't be any craving for recognition.
How many marks can you?
By Swami's compassion, we can give the full marks to them.
The next question to team Gargi. Who composed the Vairagya Shatakam?
Bhartrihari.
Yes, that is the right answer. Vairagya Shatakam was written by Bhartrihari, the king who turned philosopher. To team Angirasa, your question is, what are the three kinds of tapas?
Vak tapas, manas tapas, and body.
Yes, that is the right answer. Kaika tapas of the body, that is physical discipline and purity. Vachika tapas of the speech, that is control over speech. And manasika tapas, serenity, gentleness and self-control of the mind. Now we swiftly move to the next round, that is the shloka round. An incomplete shloka will be depicted and each team is required to complete the shloka and also tell the meaning. The first shloka goes to team Vasishta and your shloka is Ma kuru dhana dash dash pravisha viditva.
Ma kuru dhana jana yavana garvam harati nimishat kalat sarvam Mayamidam akhilam hitva Mayamidam akhilam hitva Brahmapadam pravisha viditva.
Yes, that is the right answer. Ma kuru dhana jana yauvana garvam harati nimeshat kalat sarvam maya mayamidam akilam hitva brahma padatvam pravisha viditva. Do not take pride in wealth, friends and youth. Time can destroy them in a single instant. Free yourself from the illusion of the world of Maya and attain the realm of Brahman. This is from Bhaja Govindam. To team Lopamudra, your shloka is Bhoga na bhukta dash dash vayameva jirna.
Bhoga na bhukta vayameva bhuktaha kalo na yata vayameva yataha tapona taptaha vayameva taptaha trishnana jinam vayameva.
Can you repeat it in the correct order, please?
Bhogana bhuktaha vayameva bhuktaha.
It's okay.
Tapona
She told all the 4 lines.
Yes, that is the right answer. Bhogana bhukta vayameva bhuktaha tapona taptam vayameva taptaha kalona yato vayameva yataha trishnana jirna vayameva jirna. This is from Vairagya Shatakam. It means we have not truly enjoyed pleasures, instead pleasures have consumed us. We have not really performed austerities, rather we have been burdened by them. Time has not passed, we ourselves have passed. Desires have not been fulfilled, we ourselves have grown weary. The next question is to team Maitreyi. And the shloka is dash swachchanda charinaha dash tadrisha eva janati.
अंतर्विकल्पशून्यस्य बहिस्वच्छन्दचारिणः भ्रान्तस्यैव दशस्तास्ता तादृशा एव जानते.
Yes, that is absolutely the right answer. This is from Ashtavakra Gita and it means, for one who is inwardly free from mental constrictions and outwardly moves freely, his states appear deluded to others. Only those like him can understand his condition.
Moving to team Gargi, your incomplete shloka is Naham deho dash dash kritam kritam.
नाहं देहो न मे देहो बोधोहम इति निश्चयी कैवल्यम इव संप्राप्तो न स्मरति कृतं कृतं.
That is correct. Naham deho name deho bodhoham iti nishchayi kaivalyam iva samprapto nasmaratya kritam kritam. It means the one who is firmly convinced that I am not the body, nor is the body mine, and I am the pure awareness, attains a state akin to liberation and no longer recalls past actions, whether done or not done. Next, the question to team Angirasa. Abrahmastamba dash nirvikalpa dash.
Abrahmastamba paryantam ahame veti nishchayi nirvikalpa suchishantha prapta vinirvatam.
That is correct. The shloka means, firmly established in the conviction that I alone am everything, from Brahman down to the smallest blade of grass, he is free from doubt, he is pure, serene, and beyond concern for what is gained or not gained. The final question to team Vamadeva. Kritam kimapi dash dash yatha sukam.
Kritam kimapi naiva shat iti sanchitya kinchitaha iti sanchitya tatvataha भ्रान्तस्यैव कृतं किमपि नैव स्यात् कृतं किमपि नैव स्यात् इति संचित्य तत्वतः by knowing that
that is the half shloka.
I'll tell you. Yatha sukham. कृतं किमपि कृतासि यत् कृतासि यत् कृत्वासि.
The question is passed to Team Vasishta. We pass it to Team Lopamudra.
कृतं किमपि नैव स्यात् इव सञ्चित्य तत्त्वतः यथा यत् कर्तुमायासि तत् कृत्वं यथा सुखम्.
कृतं किमपि नैव स्यात् इति सञ्चित्य तत्त्वतः यदा यत् कर्तुमायाति तत् कृत्वा से यथा सुखम्. It means knowing in truth that nothing is ever truly done. Whenever something comes for me to do, I do it and remain at ease.
We will now move to the visual round. In this round, we will display a picture that depicts a particular story from the Upanishads or from Sadhguru's discourses, and the team has to identify the story and also share the key takeaway message. We will begin with Team Lopamudra, and your image on the screen, please.
There was a sannyasi. Who was a renunciant, which a sannyasi is supposed to be, and he had just one kamandal. But one day when he was having his bath, I think, when he was having a bath, he wanted to make sure that the kamandal doesn't disappear or is not taken by anybody because he was attached to it. And he takes a mound of sand to cover it so as to camouflage it and camouflages it. And then he goes to have his bath. And then other people who come there, they think it's some kind of a sacred ritual. So they also make, shivling like that over the kamandal. We make shivlings of the sand and they start doing a ritual worship of it. So this shows that how, without understanding the meaning of a ritual and blindly following it is not the right way. One should have the understanding of the deep significance before just blindly following a ritual.
Yes, that is absolutely the right answer. The image shows of a sage who was overtly attached to his kamandalu and decides to bury it in the sand before his bath so that it does not get stolen. He makes a shivalinga to indicate the spot where he buried the kamandalu. Onlookers who witness his behavior assume that it is some kind of a ritualistic practice and they follow suit. When the sage returns, to his horror, he sees more than a dozen shivalingas and he doesn't know where his kamandalu is buried and he becomes miserable. This incident also shows that even the smallest amount of attachment will bind us to the world and cause sorrow.
Can we have the visual for Team Maitrey?
So it is about when Vivekananda will be traveling in the boat. So somebody speaks about his guru and Vivekananda will get angry and he says that I'll throw you out of the boat. So, and another person of like Ramakrishna's disciple, Brahmananda, he will not tell anything, he will keep quiet. So when both of them will go to Sri Ramakrishna, so then Sri Ramakrishna will tell to Brahmananda that when somebody was speaking about your guru, still you kept quiet. So when Vivekananda has scolded the other person and Ramakrishna Paramahamsa has told Vivekananda that why did you speak like that to other people. So it is like for Vivekananda, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said that you should be able to control your anger, and to Brahmananda he taught that you should also speak out sometime, you should not keep quiet.
Yes, that is the right answer. Once when Swami Vivekananda and Swami Brahmananda were traveling in a boat with a stranger who began ridiculing their guru Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, unable to bear the insult, Vivekananda rebukes the man harshly while Brahmananda sits calmly unaffected by these words. Later, Sri Ramakrishna, hearing of this incident, corrects Vivekananda, saying that anger is an impediment in spiritual progress. At the same time, he also tells Brahmananda not to remain silent when the Guru's honor is at stake. Thus, the Guru guides the disciples based on our individual personalities and requirements.
The next image is for Team Gargi.
This story is like whenever we need to cut a jackfruit, we use oil and we'll cut so that we'll not get stick. Our hands will not get stick to that. In the same way, if we need to follow in the spiritual path, we should engage in the world but not attach it to that. For that, guidance is important, which is like the oil, which will be helpful for our growth.
Okay, that is
the correct answer. If we try to peel a jackfruit with our bare hands, they get covered with its sticky sap. However, if we apply oil to our hands before touching the fruit, there is no stickiness. Similarly, in life, the world is like a sticky jackfruit, full of attachments and desires that can cling to us. And the oil of spiritual wisdom and detachment is necessary for us to live amidst the world without being bound by it. This is an example that was often given by Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa.
Can we have the image for Team Angirasa, please?
In this, there is a sage. So he did many tapas and he got many power. Then a crow was disturbing his meditation or tapas. Then the rishi saw the bird and burnt it out with the energy of the tapas. Then like that, the rishi went on for the bhikshatana, and when he went to a household, then he asked the bhiksha for this woman in the household. Then the woman told that I am serving my husband, and after that I'll give you the bhiksha. But the sage was angry. How can you tell like this for a sage? I did many tapas. With my energy, I'll just burn you out. Then the woman said that you can't burn me as you burnt as the bird. So then he got a shock that how this woman knows that I burnt a bird in the forest. Then the woman tells that there is a butcher in the city. So you go there and see that and gain the Brahmagnana from them. So when he went to the butcher, he saw, and the butcher also said that there is wait for some time. I'll serve my parents. Then after that, I'll give you. Then after the butcher coming to the sage, and the sage asks, you're the butcher, you're doing like this work, how you know the Brahmagnana? Then the butcher says that, I'm just doing the work. I'm not attached to the worldly desires. I'm constantly just kept my mind to the Brahman. And I'm just doing the worldly things which is gave for me. Then the sage learned the Brahmagnana from the butcher.
Yes, that is absolutely the right answer. And the key takeaway message is that irrespective of what our profession or background is, one can attain Brahmagnana or the highest wisdom even while following one's Swadharma. The next image is for Team Vamadeva.
This is a story where a householder in conversation with a sage tells that everybody in my family loves me, and to contrary to that, sage tells, let's have a test on it. And he tells, sage gives some kind of some pill, so that person takes, and he when he's in the home, he is not in consciousness, he is as if he is dead. And then the real test starts. Then the sage comes and looks at the situation, and everybody are crying in the home. And now sage puts the test, telling that I can revive him. I can revive the life of the person, but in exchange with another life of any one of you sitting here. So then slowly, the wife tells the mother-in-law tells that you are an old woman. Your life is already going to close, and why don't you give your life? And then the mother-in-law refuses, and she tells he has to take me to many my son has to take me to all the tirtha kshetras that wishes there. And like this, even the wife tells that I have to look after the children. And like this, they keep juggling between each other, refusing to give their life. So then finally Sage revives the man back and conveys him that this is how, what your imagination of people loving you and family caring about you is totally untrue. And be aware of this. This is the message which happened.
Yes, that is the right answer. And the lesson here is that all worldly relationships are transient and the only enduring relationship is with God.
The last visual of the round is for Team Vasishtha. Your visual is on the screen.
This is the story. This is the story where Dharmaraja, the Pandavas are in very great distress, and Dharmaraja one day says, I want to give up this pursuit. Let's go away. Let's not get into all these troubles with Kauravas and other things. So, and then he was about to renounce the world and go away. At that time, Krishna appears and says, why are you so worried? I'll give you a mantra. And he writes a mantra, Gamishyate, api Gamishyate, that word. This too shall pass away, he'll write on that. And, sorry, that should be the last. He writes the sloka, a mantra, and gives it to Yudhishthira, saying that in the toughest of your times, you open this. And then when they continue with their journey, and then at one stroke they are into a very deep trouble, and that time he opens that thinking that some mantra will be there and his problems will get solved. At that time, the words that are written are api Gamishyati. Etat api Gamishyati is written. This too shall pass away. That's the story. So every situation will pass away. That's the deeper meaning, moral of this story.
That is very well explained. During the Pandavas' exile, Lord Krishna gives a message inscribed on a leaf to Dharmaraja, saying that he must only open this when he is at the lowest point of his life. On one such occasion, when Dharmaraja opens the message, it reads, Etadapi Gamishyati, this too shall pass. And with this, he gets the courage to face whatever challenges he encounters. This story is indicative that nothing is permanent in life and that we must remain equanimous in all situations.
With this, we complete the round, and it's now time for some action. Are we all ready? It is time for dumb charades. In this round, one representative from each team will have to enact either a quote or a simple story, and each team will have 2 minutes to enact and guess. We will begin, and we request a representative from Team Maitri to begin this round.
It's a story of Russian farmer who runs for 1,000 rubles, wherein he greets for to crave for a land. So he goes on that ride where he becomes more greed. On the journey, he gives away of his shoes and everything, and again he greets for more land. He goes to forest, and again, after going to forest, he thinks that I can cover some more land. So thinking this, he goes forward. It will be at the end of the day, the sun will be setting. So by that time he reaches back, so it will be before reaching few inches before reaching that destination, he dies away. So this story tells that man's greed has no end. Trishna na jina, vayameva jina.
Yes, that is absolutely the right answer. It's a story by Leo Tolstoy, which speaks that human greed is infinite and any attempt to satisfy it will only lead to sorrow. Next, we request a representative from Team Gargi.
So the story is Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. They wanted to think that whether he is really not desirous of wealth or not. Like common people used to test that. So one night, one of the member, what they does is inside, like underneath the bed, they will put some coins. So to check that what does he do. So to test his whether he is really not desirous or not. So on the night Ramakrishna will sleep, and the next day will tell to some of the disciples that yesterday night something was poking and it was disturbing me. I don't know what was there. That time the person who did will come and tell this is what I did. So this shows that the Jnani will really not have any desire or for worldly. We fools think that he might, and we should not test the Guru especially. It is the message we should keep faith and we should not test or doubt Guru.
Yes, that is the right answer. Now we request a representative from Team Angirasa.
So this story is tell about that two Shishyas were going to cross the river. So that time there was a pregnant woman who was side of the river to cross that river. So that night it was heavy rain. So because of that it was some flooding. So one greater senior Shishya will tell to junior Shishya that you carry that woman and cross that river and leave that pregnant woman. But that junior Shishya will tell that how can we touch that woman, we are a sannyasi. So that time that senior Shishya will take that woman and cross that river and he will leave that woman there only and he will come. But that junior Shishya he will be thinking about that woman, how my senior carried that woman and crossed. So that time that senior Shishya will understand that what is happening, what is going on in his mind. So he will tell that I left that woman in the bank of the river, but you are still carrying that her in your mind.
Yes, that is absolutely the right answer.
Next, we call upon Team Vamadeva. We request the representative to pick the sheet.
it so happens once that two friends will be going and sees that there is an apple tree and apples are there atop and pumpkins or cucumbers like climbers are there down, and he complains that how come God is so he's imperfect, that how come a small fruit is there above and a big fruit or a vegetable is below. And it so happens, it seems, that apples falls down on his head, and then he thinks that no, okay, what God has designed is the correct one. If at all pumpkin falls on his head, it would be a problem one. So divine design is always perfect.
That is the correct explanation. Sometimes out of our own foolishness, we question God's decisions, but then life teaches us that everything is perfect as it is. The next team is Team Vasishta. We request a representative to come and pitch it.
Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, one person approached Ramakrishna Paramahamsa for getting liberation. He wanted a method to get instant liberation. So Swami told that it is not so possible unless you do rigorous tapasya and sadhana. So he took him to a river side and pushed him inside the water, and then released him after 2 minutes, and then asked him, how did you feel inside the water? Then that person told, I was so desperate to take the next breath. I was desperate that I should be able to get the next breath. So Swami told him, if you have such aspiration for getting God, reaching God, then only you will realize God, not by any other means.
That is the right answer. Now we request a representative from Team Lopamudra to please come forward.
Pada Puja. So when God comes, the Shishya is busy doing the puja when the God comes to visit him, and the Shishya tells to wait.
When a person is doing his ritual puja and they get so involved and focused and rigid about doing that puja, that when God actually comes to the door and is waiting, then he says, I've come to give you darshan. He tells God, please wait. I have to finish my ritual puja before I can allow you to enter. Is it that?
Here, actually, it is Guru who comes and he's
the
waiting.
Guru comes. Okay, the Guru comes. Okay.
But we can give the... With this, we complete the Damsharad round. Please give a big round of applause to all our participants. And we now move to the final segment in the quiz, that is Adhyatma Sangeeta. The first round in this segment will be to guess the stotram from an audio clip that will be played. And the first audio will be for team Gargi.
Guru Ashtakam.
That is incorrect, I'm sorry.
Lingashtakam.
It goes to team Angirasa.
Brahmagnana Valimala.
Can you repeat the answer?
Brahmagnana Valimala.
Brahmagnana Valimala is the right answer. It is better to be sure before we answer.
The next audio is for team Angirasa again.
Gurupadaka Stotram.
Yes, that is the right answer. The next audio will go to team Vamadeva.
Ganesha Pancharatnam.
Ganesha Pancharatnam is the right answer.
Can we have the next audio for team Vashishta?
Brahma Murari Surarchikalingam.
Can you tell the name of the stotram, sir?
Lingashtakam.
Yes, that is the right answer.
The next audio is for team Lopamudra.
Krishnashtakam.
That is the incorrect answer. We'll have to pass it to team Maitri.
Sri Ramastuti.
Sri Ramastuti is the right answer.
The last audio is for team Maitri again. Can we have the audio, please?
This is Madhusudan Sai Grama. Madhusudan Sai Grama.
Madhusudana Panchakam is the right answer. We will now quickly move to the last round of the last segment for today's episode. And in this round, the English translation of a bhajan will be displayed and the team has to guess the bhajan. You will have a time frame of 30 seconds. The first translation goes to team Angirasa. The translation is, meditate on the thought, I am He, and recite the names of Lord Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, and Sai. Fill the heart with infinite bliss by realizing the highest self.
Soham Soham Dhyana Karo.
Yes, that is the right answer. Soham Soham Dhyana Karo.
The next bhajan goes to team Vamadeva. The English translation is, love is God, love is God, God is love. Lord Sai.
Ishwar hai, Ishwar prem.
That is the correct answer. Prema Ishwar hai, Ishwar prema hai.
Can we have the next translation for team Vashishta? It says, glory to Lord Sathya Sai who fosters all faiths and religions. For all faiths are dear to him.
Sarva dharma priya sa. Sarva dharma priya sa. Priyadev.
Sarva dharma priya deva.
Yes, that is the right answer. Sarva dharma priya deva.
The next translation is for team Maitreyi. Repeat in your mind the name of Hari, who is mother, father, guru, bestower of knowledge and uplifter of the downtrodden. Chant the name of Lord Narayana, who has an eagle as his vehicle and reclines on the coiled serpent. He is the consort of goddess Lakshmi and the embodiment of home.
This question goes to team Lopamudra. Yes, that is the right answer. The next translation goes to team Maitreyi, and the translation is, repeat in your mind the name of Hari, who is mother, father, guru, and the bestower of knowledge and the uplifter of the downtrodden. It says, at least once, O mind, chant the name of Hari. Yes, that is the right answer.
The last translation goes to team Gargi. The English meaning is, bow to Mother Goddess Sharada, who is the bestower of knowledge and intelligence, the mother of musical arts and learning, who dispels the fears of worldly life.
Namo Sharada, Namo Sharada, Namo Sharada.
Yes, that is the right answer. Namo Sharada Mata. This brings us to a close of yet another episode of the Rasa Prashna. Can we have a big round of applause to all our participants? Before we announce the scores, we would like to specially congratulate every single participant for their enthusiasm and participation. Can we have the scores, please?
Team
There seems to be a tie between... Can we have the scores again, please? There seems to be a tie between teams Vashishta and Angirasa. Can we pray to Swami for a tiebreaker, Swami? So both the teams get the first place. Can we have the scores again? Please give a big round of applause to teams Vashishta and team Angirasa, who are leading at 150 points, 55 points. Gargi at 140 points, Vamadeva at 135 points, and teams Maitreyi and Lopamudra at 125 points.
inquiry is very fundamental to human existence. When the first man ever opened his eyes, he looked around and asked questions and tried to answer it for himself, because there was no one to give answers to him. Like, who created all this around me? Who created me? What is my purpose in life? Where have I come? Where I have to go? All these questions were unanswered in the first man's mind. And so he sought answers for every of these questions. And when he could not find the answers without, he turned within. And that is where all the answers were found. That's how Vedas came into existence, and all the great Shastras came into existence, because they are all answers to the questions that man asks to himself. And all these answers have been found within, not without. Then, of course, through Guru Shishya Parampara, these answers were passed on to those who were incapable of turning their minds within and finding and experiencing it for themselves. It was made easy for them by the rishis, by the gurus. They gave the answers first, and then they asked them to follow a process so that they can experience those answers within. And that is how this knowledge has been passed on from generations after generations, and that is the backbone of Indian spirituality, and so also all knowledge systems around the world, where somebody taught it to somebody else, and they in turn taught it to somebody else. And that is how this cascading effect of knowledge continued till this date. I'm very happy to see that as a part of this program, all of them have imbibed so many ideas, so much of knowledge. Even I won't remember some of those country flags or capitals and currency or whatever they were asking, because I did not pay attention to that. My attention was mostly on the spiritual side. But for the children, it is important to know various countries, their currencies, what happens there, and some of these great places on earth. All this is because of their interest in learning, and also interest in winning the quiz, because last time I told them I'll take them. But that should not be the motivation. Irrespective of what you get out of it, Ashtavakra says, Kartasi na bhoktasi. Irrespective of that, you must do. Yadayat kartum ayasi. Whatever comes, you must do your duties. I'm very happy at this time the participation with greater enthusiasm. I think a little incentive goes a long way in motivating people, because I saw everybody was answering. They were more prepared than earlier times. Most of them knew answers, and sometimes in a little hurry or in a moment of haste, they did miss it here and there. But all of it, almost everybody answered. And some things got passed on, therefore a few people got more marks than the rest. But otherwise, I think everybody did very well this time compared to the earlier episodes of the Rasa Prashna. This was the best. So I'm very happy, because I love a teacher's joys when he sees students learning with sincerity and imbibing the teachings. And they have answered all kinds of questions, from basic general knowledge questions about countries and places in the world and various things, to the highest spiritual understanding, the philosophy of what is being taught. Even that they understand. And they also in between answered all the other historical questions, including Bhagwan's life and other things that happen. So I'm very happy that they are learning so well. And the quiz masters also conducted it very well. This was the best so far, without any confusion. And I'm very happy the devotees answered so many questions, quite well actually. So this is how it should happen. Knowledge always leads to happiness. It is the way of knowledge. The more you know, the more happy you become, because the more you understand how things work around you. So it demystifies the world around you and within you also. So knowledge is a great, that's why nahi jnanena sadrisham, it says. Pavitramiha vidyate. There is nothing equal to knowledge in this world. It is the most sacred, especially the spiritual knowledge. And tat swayam yoga sansiddha kalena atmani vindati. And the one who is ready in the yoga, samsiddha, who has mastered the art of yoga, which is to remain steady in his state of self. Such a person, eventually, when he attains that state, he attains this wisdom also. Kalena atmani vindate. It comes to everybody sooner or later. The sooner the better. The more efforts you put, the better it is, the faster it will come to you. But even as I see, more efforts have been put. I'm sure they have stayed up in the night, and after the Deepavali firecrackers show, and I think they sat and memorized all these things. I'm sure, because they're all sleepy eyes there, you see. They can easily make out that they stayed awake up to do well in the quiz. I'm sure there is a reward at the end of everything, but more than that, the journey itself is the reward that you learned so many things, you enjoyed the process. And we all enjoyed watching, and I saw the enthusiasm from the audience as well, that they cannot just keep quiet. I think that is something they'll have to learn. Next time I'll give tapes just before you enter the Premamrutham auditorium, put it on your mouth and then come inside. Whispering answers from there is not right. But anyways, that shows that they were all interested and happy and participating, which is a good thing. Next time I'm thinking of further complicating the game, because we are left with only 2 weeks to go maybe. They will give me the names of all the students, staff, and the devotees in the ashram. And I'll pick the names and tell these are the people who should go on the stage. That by random choice, not by their choice. So it could be just any one of you. Be prepared. It might just, I'll put my hand into the bowl and pull out anybody's name. And then you have to be on the stage. You can't escape saying that, oh, I'm too old, or I'm too young, or I'm not from India, or I'm from the moon and the Mars. All that won't work. You have to pick up and learn. If it comes to you, then pick it up and do. Isn't it? That is fair. So this enthusiasm is good, but next time it might be a random choice of people who will be on the stage. So be prepared. That leaves nobody with this attitude that I will never be on the stage, so not to worry. You never know. You could be. And I said, if you do well, you are traveling around the world with me. And if you don't do well, then it is up to you. You go back to where you came from, your country. But otherwise, you have a chance. I'll be going again in the next year. I'll be traveling to many places. And those who have won the quiz, whether it is men or the women, they will definitely be able to travel. And those who have not won, even those who have come second, I will take them, no problem. So even if you get the second place, it is okay. You were in second place, huh? Ah, yeah, you are. Today you got in last place. I was trying to help them, but looks like they're the last place. The best, another time, another luck. But anyways, you keep learning. That is more important. That learning is the joy. Keep learning, keep learning. The one who stops learning, as they say, the one who graduates today and stops learning tomorrow becomes uneducated the day after. That is how knowledge is. Knowledge has to be continuously learnt, and you should enjoy the process of learning. There should be joy. This is what I experienced. There is a lot of joy over here. So let us see next time how they perform. It's getting better. And more importantly, everybody in the audience also knows the answers. Just that they don't have the courage to come to the stage. That's all it is. Otherwise, they all know the answers. They are all replying from there. Very happy. Once again, the students have done us proud because they scored the highest marks. And look at that Veda Pathshala. No, his English is good and he is very articulate. He clearly explains what he is wanting to tell, and he is able to remember things and answer. That is why I said, if you are learning Vedas, because that improves your capacity, memory, and also your articulation. It creates confidence in you because everything you chant aloud. You don't, murmur. That's why Vedic chanting was so very important for all our Gurukulas, and they were very intelligent because of this process of learning. And I learned that Sanskrit language itself is such that it creates new neural pathways in your mind, so better memory. And that is why these Vedic scholars could remember so many Vedas by rote. And that is the Indian way of learning. And I'm seeing that happen because it is a clear example. Those who are just learning Vedas, they could have just learned Vedas, but he also learned science, computers, English, and they're able to remember and articulate it, which is again a very clear proof that the Indian knowledge system and the way it was taught was very scientific, because of which it really improved the students in their capacity, both memory and articulation. And that can be clearly seen over here. So I'm very happy. That's a real proof of the pudding when you see these students reply so well. Now, you've done very well. I'm very happy about this. Of course, all the students, everybody has done well. But this was something that I observed and noticed, that this is something happening in the Veda Pathshala, that experiment of merging the two knowledge systems, the Indian traditional and the Western, and how they are able to do both very well. They score very well in their 10th grade also. Isn't it? You people scored very well also. How much did you score? 90% he has scored in the NIOS exam. That is not their traditional Vedic exam, alva? Yeah, they're able to score 90% in NIOS, which most of the students don't score here, and also learn their Vedic studies at the same time. They know so many rituals. They're able to manage the temple all by themselves, and they're able to conduct so many of these programs and rituals, and all that together. There's no contradiction over there. That is the idea of Indian knowledge systems. Why our ancient rishis were so intelligent. They were so good at whatever they did because they learnt it the Sanskrit way. They learnt it the traditional way, the oral recitation way. That is why they are able to do very well. Very good. Very sit down. And as you know, in a couple of days, we have a lot of inaugurations happening. There is only a month or less than a month left. So they asked for some students to help. I said, definitely they'll go and help the bigger students. They can go and help wherever you can in batches. And please do. Even devotees can help those who are, capable of helping. We don't want you to go walking and come back on wheelchairs. So please don't unnecessarily, be adventurous about the works that are going on. But yes, the young boys and girls are there. They all have to help. That is very important because they all are needed for completing all the small works. No big work, just small works. A little bit of cleaning, dusting and things like that. So that will help us to prepare the place faster. So be ready for that also. That's also a part of our learning. And I'm very happy that this happened so well. And many, many blessings to all the organizers, quiz masters, and all the participants, and of course the audience as well, for being good audience. A lot of blessings.
सर्वसुगुण सिंधवे सकल सुजन बंधवे सर्वसुगुण सिंधवे सकल सुजन बंधवे गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमंगलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमंगलम् दीन दुखित पोषकाय दान धर्म प्रेरकाय दीन दुखित पोषकाय दान धर्म प्रेरकाय सर्वलोक सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रित कल्पलतीता आश्रित कल्पलतीता आपद्बांधवा ॐ जय जगदीश हरे माता पिता गुरुदैवं पर्यन्तयुनीवे स्वामी पर्यन्तयुनीवे नाथ ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ सद्गुरुदेवा शांति 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 समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु शांति 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 जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय बोलो सद्गुरु श्री मधुसूदन साई जी